if you want to kick things off, and then we'll go to Jeremy for the first question.
Okay. We long in advance, we have a schedule on how we're going to handle training camp, and that's what we've stuck to. Yesterday was a scheduled day off. Today we were back on the practice field. Just finished up with our practice that we had set up. Good practice, spirited practice, all of those good things. Of course, we realize what's going on right now with, college football. But as I told the team, we're going to continue to focus on the things that we can control. And so the day, as far as practice was concerned, we went out the way we have every practice we've had so far. No pads and helmets. I've like everyone, of course, I've been listening, watching. We've been meeting and making plans for a lot of different scenarios. Just talking for our football players, just like everybody else's football players right now. If a player didn't want to play this year, he's opted out already. The guys that are here right now want to practice, want to play, have did an awful lot to get in position for this. So that goes without saying. We definitely feel like our players are safe based on what information we've gotten so far. We're safe to continue at the pace that we're going right now. We worked on a plan for college football and the things that could possibly be happening to us for a long period of time. So that's about all I can say on it. I haven't been told anything. So we have meetings this afternoon. We're going to continue to go with our routine until someone tells us otherwise. Take your question.
Jeremy, go ahead.
Lovie, I know there's so much uncertainty. I know you and Josh have been all aboard playing. Has there been any new information or new conversations with him or President Colleen throughout the last couple of days?
Of course, you can imagine there's constant communication. Josh was out, at practice for a while with us today. So there's constant communication. We're of course, with what we want to do, we're in tune with, Josh wants to play as much as all of us. So it's not like there's any type of disagreement with how we're doing things, from our testing to our safety protocol to how we're practicing. We're all on board with what we're doing right now. So again, Josh is in a waiting situation just like we are.
And are you frustrated at all, Lovie, with just maybe not a clear directive right now?
I mean, we would like a clearer directive right now, but I mean, what do you get from what good would that do? I mean, for us, I asked our football team to control what we can control. So that was going to practice. We got good work done with it. Now that practice is over, I'm trying to get more information and see where we are. But we've just made the decision that we're going to keep going full speed ahead until someone tells us otherwise. And what else can you do?
Thanks.
We've been talking in a long time about how we handle every situation. And, right now, based on what I'm saying, I'm not changing anything. We're not changing anything. But and we're going to hope for a good outcome until somebody tells us otherwise.
Thanks, Lovie.
You're welcome.
Beatty, then Gavin.
Hey, Lovie, appreciate it. You just mentioned controlling what you can control. Do you see part of that is lending your voice here publicly, and what a lot of players are doing across the country who do want to play with, the hashtag We Want to Play? Is that something you encourage your players to do?
Well, Scott, this is what I said earlier. The guys that don't want to play have opted out. The guys that are practicing right now, they want to play. We can put our name to some different things, but everybody that's practicing right now wants to play. I guess every one of our guys could go on Twitter and say something right now, but take my word, everybody here wants to play, like I think everybody that's practicing right now. So, I mean, I don't know what else there is to do besides that.
Then there has been some reporting about a possible heart inflammation that can be tied to COVID-19. Is any information you're getting new in that area about that condition? Are you concerned about it at all?
We're concerned about anything that could possibly harm our players. When studies come out and there's word out there, sources said, I think if there is some strong evidence that says that we shouldn't play college football, I think everybody can live with that if it's presented to us instead of we hear that. So I like to see that information that you're talking about. I'm told the same thing. I've heard what you've heard, but I think when you make statements, it's good to have information to back them up. This many guys, this is what happened to this many people, so we'll know. But right now, we would never let our players go out and start this process if we didn't think that it was safe to play football, to practice right now or to play this fall. And if we get some information that says don't, we won't. No different than our safety protocol. I know students are coming back on campus, but they're not on campus right now. Nothing has changed in these last couple of days from when we initially started. So if we get more information that says we shouldn't play ball and it's dangerous for us to play ball, we shouldn't play. But as an athlete, you look right now, baseball is playing, basketball is playing. I know they're in a bubble, but I'm saying that if you have guys that have tested daily like we are, and everybody is tested negative, why not continue to do what we're doing?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gavin, then Robert.
Hey, Lovie, good to see you. It seems like, there's a lot up in the air right now with the Big Ten in every conference. But I'm wondering what you think of the SEC, just pushing back the start of their season, and how you think, a move like that might relate, as opposed to just, making the call to cancel it all right now, which, the Mountain West did yesterday and other leagues are contemplating.
Well, my opinion is, first off, I thought we should start when we started. There's a reason why we had that date. We did a lot of planning to do it. But right now, if there's something that has caused us to pause, I would say we pause and then not cancel unless there is some strong evidence that says can't get better, we can't deal with this. We know it right now before we start. We play football. You would like to at least have a chance to play football first, and then we see that doesn't work. So that's what I would say. There's a reason why we had our date set the way we did, and I don't see nothing has changed since then to say change it now.
Thanks.
Robert.
Well,
Lovie, a lot of coaches in the Big Ten have made a lot of statements. James Franklin saying that they want to play, Ryan Day. Scott Frost went a long way in his press conference yesterday to say, we would look to play schedule games even if Big Ten games are canceled. Do you have a personal, you have a statement? Did you consider releasing a statement like those other coaches did? What's your personal view toward all of this?
You've been on this call, right? Statement. We want to play. Is that what I need to do to tell you? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not one to make statements. It's a little bigger than statements. Like right in our country right now, there's systemic racism, social unjust. And once it initially started happening, everybody said, hey, Lovie, give me a statement, because that's how we'll know how you feel based on a statement. Well, we're out here practicing right now. We've been planning for this for a long period of time. I, like everybody else, would like to play if you need a statement. We do, for our football team. Everyone that hasn't said anything, we had a spirited practice today. They want to play football. So I don't know how many more times we have to say that.
Do you feel any obligation with, I guess from the coach's angle, do you want to get in there with some of these conversations that the president and the ADs are had? Or are you more waiting to hear an answer?
Robert, we as coaches have been meeting since April with all planning everything that could possibly happen. We've been in, I can't tell you how many meetings I've been in with ADs, not the president, with ADs, with coaches. We've gone over every conceivable thing that you can think of. Another meeting for me right now is not going to change. Your point, we want to play. We've done everything possible to play. I feel like it's safe for us to practice and play. Don't know what else there is. And if something happens while we're playing, while we're practicing, we have a plan for that. What else is there to say besides it?
Okay, thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Matt Stevens.
Lovie, I'm curious as a football coach for as long as you have been and as a father, can you appreciate the idea of wanting to do something and then having to explain that's not the right thing to do? I'm sure that's a conversation that you've had with your players about just regular injuries. Yeah, I know you want to play, but I can't put you out there right now. Is that a conversation you're prepared to have?
That's a conversation we have had. And first off, if I didn't think it was safe for our guys to be out there, you know, people ask, would you want your son, would you put your son in this position? My son coaches. He's out there with me right now. He's on the field. I think it's safe with what we're doing. So, yeah, we always start with that. No players ever practice if it isn't safe, if they're not injury-free. I think if harm would come to them or possibly could come to them if they were out there, we wouldn't do that. That's how I feel right now. It's not like we have to change up anything. That's where we are. And I think we make the statement, it's as safe here in Champaign as it is anywhere. And I'm going to just voice what seemed like we as coaches, we're all saying the same thing. To me, I think it's as safe here as it is anywhere for the reasons. I hear other places, it's hard to get testing. You know how many times our guys can get tested? Daily. How can it get any better than that? So we kind of have a plan. Football players they want a schedule, discipline. I do this at that time. We have control of our group until late at night. I don't know a better situation for the players to be in than where we are right now.
My quick follow-up is, in the meetings that you have been in, Lovie, have there been talks about if we can't pull this off in the fall, what can we do in the spring? If there was a report out there that says a spring season has never been talked about, would that report be accurate?
No, it would not. No,
Thank you, sir.
When I say when we've been talking, we've talked about every imaginable thing that could happen. And when I say that, we've talked about, okay, if there's a stoppage right now, our schedule was the schedule for this year was kind of set up for that. If someone tests positive, we have a schedule for that. If we can't play this fall, if we can play, we have a schedule. If we can't play this fall, we have a schedule. Next, you look to the spring. And after that, we're going to keep going. Eventually, we're going to play football. So when I say everything has been discussed, it's not like we're just getting here right now. It's just how to carry out these plans is what we're seem to have a little bit of trouble on.
Hey, Coach, I know your guys are getting tested every day, and I know that's great. Do you know if the other schools in the Big Ten are doing something similar? I know they'll have to do once or twice a week, but are they doing daily like you guys are?
I know, Bob, our league, when you decide to just have a conference-only schedule, there are a lot of things that you have in place that every school has to abide by. There's a minimum amount of testing, yes, that we have in our league for all teams. And right now in training camp, of course, if we play the season, then we'll be on the same routine as far as when we test weekly. So feel really pretty good. I know what we're doing right now, but I feel good about what all Big Ten teams are doing.
I just wanted to coach if there was some consideration in Illinois to share their testing methods with the schools in the Big Ten, because you guys seem to be ahead of the curve a little bit.
Bob, as we've shared everything. Everybody kind of knows what we're doing here at the University of Illinois. When you're we have an Illinois family that we're part of, but we're a part of the Big Ten family too, and we want to help as much as we possibly can, for our conference. So everybody kind of knows what we're doing here at the University of Illinois also. And we're not the only one. I mean, it's different degrees and of testing that you have from university to university, but I think it's all good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Joey and Scott Ritchie.
Hey, Lovie, thanks for doing this. Over the course of the last 3 days, I guess, reports and information have, kind of come from varying degrees from all over the place. How do you coach your kids or talk with your kids about how they consume that? And, should they go to, listen to, how do you kind of control what you want them to hear or help them navigate through all of this?
Well, this isn't the first off, there's a new day of social media. So our players are going to hear what you're hearing. We understand that. And then we want them to come to us for the truth and what we know. I've tried to give our players as much factual information as I can on what I know. Now, a lot of times it's not as much as the guys would like to know, but our players are just like everybody else. They want to know for sure what we're going to do. And they're listening to SportsCenter, news coming out. They're on Twitter, all of that. But right now, I just know all the guys showed up today, practice well. And we tried to sort through, the facts as much as anything. We had a big meeting last night with Josh also. So, but we've tried to keep it fluid that way as far as giving them information throughout this entire process, just not in the last, 24 hours.
And then for clarity, you mentioned the players on campus want to play and the players who didn't feel comfortable opted out. We know of Rayvon. Has there been any other opt-outs in the last few days?
No, we've had one opt-out. Everybody else is here, ready to go. We now, we had one more, I think Rod Pear is here now on campus. But as far as I know, and, as I said, I try to stay in constant communication with the players to kind of know what they're thinking a little bit. And again, our players are thinking for, as I said, if they haven't opted out, they want to play. And if we can't play, the first thing on our players' mind would be this: how is my eligibility affected? If I'm a senior, we have a senior class. How does that affect me? If there's a spring, is it a full season? We have a lot of guys here that have worked hard for their senior year and they want to play their senior year. They're patient enough to wait to play it if that's the case, but they just want to play their senior year. And those, to me, first off, we want to play right now. If we don't play right now, we as coaches, administrators, all that, have to figure out how we handle our rosters as we go forward. We have a lot of freshmen, of course, that want to come in, of course, a little bit later on. How do we handle that? Those are the questions that we have to answer.
Thanks, Lovie.
Scott Ritchie and Mariah.
Lovie, it seems like in a lot of instances, the Big Ten has moved forward together with all 14 programs kind of in lockstep on different issues. There was some dissension, maybe a little bit in the ranks yesterday. Are you concerned about that, just conference-wise, where maybe not everyone seems to be on the same page?
No, I can't. We have 14 schools, 14 different opinions. Scott, right now, it's everything that I have is just concentrating on the University of Illinois and what we think. And we're in tune with what we like to do. I kind of voice that right now. Don't know what everybody else is thinking for the most part, but if you're in a conference, I assume you want to do what the conference wants to do. Don't know much more than that.
I guess maybe an unrelated follow-up. Since the Big Ten moved to not go to padded practices yet, what adjustments have you made and maybe what you're doing as opposed to the original schedule you had in mind?
Well, Scott, for our program, we miss all the spring practice. So I mean, there's a lot we need to do. We hadn't played, before we started, we hadn't played football since the bowl practices. So there's a lot for us to do. You can get a lot done without pads. I have an NFL background, where there's a lot less, padded practices to get ready for games. So I'm comfortable with a lot of that, especially where we are. We missed a lot of time away from the players. So to gradually work into padded practices, I'm okay with. Again, as I see it right now, we've had a 5-day mini camp. We've gotten great work done. Eventually, we like to graduate to pads, but in the meantime, we're going to continue to get good non-padded practices in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Lovie. Hope you're doing well. So you said how, there were high spirits in practice today. I'm just wondering, what did the start of practice look like today? Was it any different? Did you say anything differently to your guys before you began the day?
We had a team meeting last night, and I talked to them about it and let them know what we were doing today. They came to work. They had the schedule. They came to work. We started practice off the way we normally start practice off. After practice, I let them know that I don't know anything else, and we're going to stay with the schedule until we're told otherwise. And I'm just going to hit again. I never tell the players what they can and can't say through social media. I think they know what's accepted around here, but I want them to, their opinions, I want it out there, whatever that might be. So that's how we're doing it. We have afternoon meetings that we have scheduled. We're going to get back on the schedule, after guys. Right now they have lunch and they have their off time that we give them in the afternoons each day. So that's where we are.
And you obviously talked about how you're really big on having that open door with your players. Have any of them come to you about this recent uncertainty at all?
Right, they're concerned like every other college player in football is concerned. They have the same concerns, same ones. They want to play. Are we going to play? If we don't play now, are we going to play in the spring? And what I've told them, eventually there'll be closure to all these questions that are being asked. But right now, this is control what you can control and try to concentrate on that as much as anything. That's what we did today. Don't know what's happening tomorrow. It's about the afternoon now. And that's the approach we've taken throughout.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Shannon.
One more time. Players that don't want to play have opted out. Players that are here ready to go want to play football. That's throughout college football as I see.
We'll finish up with Shannon here.
All right. Hi, Lovie. There were some coaches, notably in the Big Ten, Scott Frost, talking about the idea of striking out on their own and finding a schedule, finding people to play. Is that something you'd advocate for Illinois try to do or look into doing if there isn't a fall season?
We're in the Big Ten conference. We feel good about it, and we're going to do whatever the conference says. That's our approach right now. Just on, for us and where we are right now. I have a full day right now of just keeping the plan in place on executing it. So I'm going to hope. I know there's a lot of speculation. I'm going to hope that, we continue to practice and advance to the next stage and all that, being a part of the Big Ten.
And you were asked about and you cited this idea of studies and heart inflammation with athletes, but there's a very credible report about specifically 5 Big Ten players who have this heart issue. And Brady Feeney's mom from Indiana has talked about his heart issues. Is that something you were made aware of, or you feel like coaches were made aware of? Just because you cited studies vaguely, not the Big Ten specifically. And just, does that give you a different cause for alarm or different perspective on anything?
No, I'm aware that there have been some guys with heart problems. I don't know all the specifics. No, I do not. I trust our league. If we thought as a league, if we thought that we were putting our players at risk, we wouldn't be going through this right now, Shannon. It's as simple as that. So nothing has changed. Do I know all the details of every study right now? No, I don't. But for us to be in this position right now, we feel okay with it.
I guess my question was more about just if that was something, because it sounds like these specific athletes are a point of conversation in the idea of going forward or not. And I'm just curious, you know, if players are made aware of, okay, there's 5 guys who have this, if coaches are made aware of, it's not just the sniffles, as some people say, but heart issues.
No, we understand what's out there right now, and we've made the decision that we're okay of advancing with what we're doing right now. Yes. If that change, if there's information that says, no, we can't do it, that's one thing. Because Shannon, right now, we've been practicing since June. The guys have, and it's not like there were walkthroughs. They've been exerting energy each day. There's been an awful lot going on. But I haven't seen a study that says now us moving to football. Look at what we've done right now. Does that study say that the guys aren't, safe to do what we've been doing right now? I don't think the study says that. Once we see that or somebody tells us that, then we'll stop. That's not what we've seen so far.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, everybody. That'll be a wrap with Coach today.
Excellent.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lovie, for your time.